Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Attack Wrap. I'm your host, Nick Kennedy. Before we get into the interview today, we're going to jump into the OHL Players of the Week. So this week's OHL Player of the Week going to the London Knights' Denver Barkey with 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points on the week. You can see a total there of 11 goals, 15 assists for 26 points, a plus 14 on the season. So good work there to Denver. OHL Goalie of the Week going to the Kitchener Rangers' Jackson Parsons with 3 wins, 1 goal against average, and 2 shutouts on the week. You can see a grand total, 14 games played, 10-4 record, 2.33 goal against average, and a .923 percentage, making those Kitchener Rangers ever so dangerous. Your Owen Sound Attack Player of the Week going to number 18, Servac Petrovsky. 18 games played, 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points on the season. This week, 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 points. Looking to get a few more here on the road in the away 3-3. Next game in Windsor on Thursday, Sarnia on Friday, and Flint on Saturday. We'll quickly look at the OHL League standings as well before we jump in here. Hopping on top there is Mississauga, who was just here recently. Peterborough second, Ottawa 67, Sudbury, North Bay, Barrie, Kingston, Oshawa, Brantford, and Niagara. You can see Mississauga there with 22 points, tied with the Petes, only 1 ahead of the 67s and the Wolves at 21, and then North Bay close on their heels. We'll take a look here at the Western Conference. Kitchener, of course, in first place, 28 points, dominating the league at the moment, 14 wins, 5 losses. The Sioux Greyhounds, 4 points back. The Sioux that Owen Sound shut out 4-0 a couple weeks ago. London Knights there in third place with 25 points and 1 less game played. And Owen Sound down there right now in the 9th position with 16 points, 7 wins, 9 losses, 3 overtime losses, and a shootout loss as well. Looking for a bounce-back weekend here on the road in Southern Ontario. We'll take one more look here at the leading scorers as well for the league. You've got Carson Renkoff there with Kitchener, 19 games played, 19 goals, 14 assists with 33 points. One behind him, Hunter there with Kitchener, 32. Matthew Sopp also with Kitchener. Kitchener taking all 3 spots with 33 points, 32 points, 30 points. Got London there, Denver Barkey, Player of the Week in 4th place. Anthony Romani with North Bay. Adrian also in Kitchener. Couple London Knights, Windsor, North Bay, Mississauga. And I believe Denny Gour sitting at 16th place. That's the first Owen Sound Attack. Sam Sedley in 19th place with 21 points. And Denny Gour also with 21 points. You can see there top 10 scoring on the team. Denny Gour, Sam Sedley, both with 21 points. Cedric Guindon, who's been playing very, very well lately with 19 points. Servac, 17 points. Ethan Burrows, 16. Colby Barlow, 14. Been out a couple of games, had a later start to the season as well. Landon Hookey with 10. Ben Cormier on the show today with 6. Teus Jordan with 8. And Jake Crawford with 4. Jake being, I believe, the only rookie there on that list, so good job to Jake. Well, gentlemen, we'll get into this. Our guest today, number 8, Ben Cormier, number 36, Sam Ethier. Thank you guys for joining us today on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Ben, I want to start with you. I know, just reading the article, getting on the NHL Central scouting list. How much of an honor is that for you?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, but there's lots of time left to move up and just lots of work ahead.
Absolutely. In a draft year like this for you, it must be a special one.
Yeah, it really is.
Excellent. Well, I want to talk a little bit about your minor hockey experiences. Ben, I believe you started with the Ottawa Junior 67s and then moved up to the Navan Grads?
Yeah.
And am I right to say that both of you guys played together on that Junior 67?
Yes, we did.
What was that experience like?
It was unbelievable. We had a great team that year.
Oh, yeah.
Probably top 3 in Ontario, so we went 8-0 in the playoffs.
Excellent.
So it's really good.
Were you guys were you pretty excited to see Sam getting drafted here as a U18 pick.
Yeah, I was pretty excited just to see another Ottawa boy get on the team and someone I played with before. It's pretty special.
Quite a few of you guys from that Eastern Ontario area making it onto this team, hey?
Yeah.
So Ben, U18s with Navan 72 points in 30 games. You led the team in goals. You led the team in points. What does it take to be able to do that as were you 16 on a U18 team or 17 on a U18 team?
Yeah, at the time I think I was probably 15, 16.
15, 16.
Yeah, well, you're playing against older players too, so you kind of get an experience of what it's like moving up to the next level, like the OHL, so got me ready for this level. But yeah, it's pretty hard.
Excellent, excellent. And I know playing there with, was it Nathan Villeneuve, and kind of getting a little bit of that experience, I believe moved from the 67s up to the grads with you as well. And of course, I believe, where is he playing now? Is he in Sudbury?
Yeah, he's in Sudbury.
Doing some good work up there.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy getting a chance to play against him?
Oh, I love it. He's my best friend back home, so just growing up with him, playing on the same team and seeing him succeed, it's pretty special to watch.
What does that mean to be able to compete against a best buddy? Do you feel like you have that, maybe like an extra pep in your step there when those games come around?
Oh, for sure. The game in Sudbury was an exciting one. You just want to win. You want to do better than him, so it's good competition.
Excellent. You feel like maybe you hit a little bit harder when you know it's your buddy and
yeah, absolutely.
maybe get away with one of those? Excellent. Well, Sam, playing with the 67s, 19 points in 29 games. I noticed when I was looking up a lot of your stats and your hockey history that you have played a little bit of forward and defense. I was wondering if maybe you want to speak to that.
Yeah, so I can clarify a little bit on that. I played forward pretty much my entire life, and then with the exception of like a couple spring hockey tournaments, I mainly just played forward the whole way through. And then it was only in U18 when I got drafted to the Royal Nationals there in the CCHL draft. That's when I made the transfer over to playing defense, and then I've been playing for the past 2 years, and now I'm playing D in the OHL. So it was a pretty like spontaneous decision, but I think everything worked out in the end, and I'm just gonna keep working.
What inspired that change in you? What made you want to move?
I think it was pretty straightforward because the first year of U18, our team was pretty skilled offensively. I just think we were missing a little bit of juice on the back end. So I think my coach kind of told me, like, we have enough on the front end, and we could use the extra support in the back. Is there any way that you could arrange something like that? Because they didn't know I played D in spring hockey a little bit. So then I said, yeah, like, I'll talk with my parents, talk around, like, see, my dad always looks out for me and stuff. So just to see if something like that could work, and I made it work. So.
Well, as one of the rare few who kind of make that switch later on in their career, and still playing forward at a high level as well before that draft to Rockford, what is something that forwards don't really understand about that defensive position?
I think more than anything, it's scanning around and visualizing things and being able to anticipate without the puck. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, obviously we've got even forwards on our team now that just have phenomenal vision, but a lot of that comes from what they can do with the puck. Making those passes with the eyes behind their head almost. It seems like there are people like that for sure on offense, but I think more than anything, it's scanning and really having to take in and understand what to do with the puck before you get it.
Would you describe yourself then as an offensive defenseman, or when you make that shift to defense, are you looking to just be a kind of a stay-at-home defenseman?
So mainly at the very, very start, when I just made the transition, I was kind of obviously a little bit uncomfortable just because it was so new to me. It did take me a little while to get comfortable offensively, and I knew that's something I could utilize later on just because I had the offensive abilities of a forward technically. It took me a little while to get going, but by my second season in U18, that's when I started really showing up and letting up the points there a little bit.
Excellent. Yeah, once you made it to Rockford there, I see 44 points in 41 games. I mean, as a defenseman, as a young defenseman playing in U18, that is very impressive. And I know, along with many other fans, we're really looking forward to seeing what you can do here in Owen Sound. Ben, I want to talk a little bit about that kind of third-line center role that you seem to be so comfortable playing here in Owen Sound. I mean, lots of movement around the lines right now, and just really trying to kind of find that team groove. But you look very comfortable there in kind of a, an offensive, but still a little bit physical, and you have that speed, like a very well-rounded kind of game. I'm wondering if you could maybe describe a little bit of what your line is and kind of what your role is in that.
Yeah, so obviously last year, I took some bigger minutes. This year, stepped up my game, so now I'm playing a bigger role on the team. But really, I'm trying to be good defensively, and offense will come. So our line is really just depth to our team, and then just an extra line of scoring.
Excellent. I mean, we saw that on the weekend there against Mississauga, picking up a big tip in front off of one of Landon Hookie's shots there, and so that was excellent to see. I know sitting right there and just kind of watching that going, I was like, well, that's perfect because he's on the show this week. So we got something to talk about. Sam, coming in as a U18 pick, what is that like? Is that intimidating coming to camp, knowing that I'm one of those U18 picks? Like, it's hard for me to make the team this year.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I just think because of the whole transition, it did definitely throw off. Changing positions in your draft year is probably a little frowned upon, I would say.
Sure.
But after I kind of got comfortable with the whole thing and I got exposure later on, I just thought, it was just a different approach, and it didn't really throw me off or anything like that. I showed up to camp and I gave it my all, and now I'm on the team. So. Absolutely.
I mean, coming in and really impressing at camp, people were surprised to see what you can do there, both on either side of the blue line, really, and making that team right out of the gate in your draft year. That's an impressive feat, absolutely. I'm wondering, have you been able to kind of study guys like Sam Sedley, who's got that? I mean, of course, he's a big presence on the ice.
Yeah, for sure.
With the puck and without the puck, defensively, offensively, he seems to really thrive in those environments. I'm wondering, how much of your game do you want to kind of look like the other Sam?
Yeah. So even when I got drafted by Dale, he gave me a call on my phone pretty much right away, and he said one of the first things was, obviously he congratulated me first, but then he said, I want you to take a look at Sam Sedley. He's a player in our team. Look over the way he plays, because by the end of my time here, he's kind of trying to get me to develop into a player like that.
Right.
And obviously, with that being said, I'm trying to study him as much as I can. I'll ask him some questions in practice. He's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in the OHL. So if there's anything I can take from him, I'm gonna keep asking. You know what I mean? He's a nice kid too, and he always wants to help me out. So.
That's excellent. Yeah, it's great to have people like that on the team, especially when they've got a letter on their jersey too, and you see that leadership. Ben, I don't want to put undue pressure on you, but where I was sitting actually in the stands, there were a couple of young kids behind us. I don't know where their parents were, but they were chattering away all game, and I heard one kid. I think you're lining up for a face-off. It's in the third period. You're in the offensive zone. You're lining up for a face-off against Mississauga, and I heard this kid who's just, chattering away all game. And he goes, "See number 8? He's gonna be the next captain of this team." And I was like, whoa! Here I am sitting here. I'm like, I better make a note of this, because if this ends up coming true, I'm like, we got to find this kid, and he better take this job. I can't be doing the show anymore. So. We're not going to take that as fact or Bible or anything like that, but just wanted to let you know you got some fans out there, and so that's pretty funny. Exciting. I think actually as well, this was 2 minutes before you get that tip in goal, so it's I was like, man, this is something to talk about. So I'm wondering, what does it take to tip in a shot like that? I mean, obviously you've got to be strong in front of the net and stuff like that, but as fans are watching you and the puck is just moving so quickly, what are you seeing when you see this opportunity to tip?
Yeah, well, before the shot comes, you got to box out your D. He's trying to box you out, so you got to get your stick loose, and as soon as the shot comes, just you put your stick there and hope it hits your stick, and went in. So
excellent. Well, what I want to do, real quick here is I want to ask you guys just kind of a couple personal questions. So I'm wondering, for each of you, kind of what is the story of you getting into hockey? Why did you choose hockey?
I'll go first. So when I was 4, I actually hated hockey. I despised it. And my dad had 2 tickets to a Senators game, and I didn't want to go. I cried before the game. I was like, I'm not going. After the game, some fan gave me a puck, and ever since then, I just loved it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it was just that instant hooked on the sport.
Yeah.
Great. Sam, how about yourself?
For me, it was my dad kind of got me into it more than anything. But I did originally start off, just skating around on the ice, like, doing public skates and stuff like that. And I always, like, even when I was on the ice for the first time, the first thing I wanted to do was just skate as quick as I could. And for obviously it's a lot more technical than you think when it comes to skating. But for me, I just thought, if I can move my legs quick, then I'll just go. Obviously, if you're not really pushing sideways, you're not gonna get any power out of your strides. So that's kind of how I started off, and I just wanted to go. And then my parents saw kind of how interested I was in the whole, being on the ice thing, and one thing led to another, and they put me in hockey, and I kind of fell in love with it at a young age. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. I'm wondering, a number is a very personal thing to people. You can see guys that, they'll change teams, they'll change numbers, and finally getting an opportunity to kind of wear a number that either means something to them or they grew up playing. I'm wondering, are the numbers you guys wearing, are they important to you? Is it just one that you kind of adopted?
For me, it's one I just adopted. I was 86 growing up because I like Nikita Kucherov. I just thought it was a cool number. And we don't go over 40, I think. So I'm like, well, you might just take the 6 out and I'll just be 8.
Excellent.
And I was actually number 8 growing up, and when we played together, I was number 8 on the team. But when I went to Rockland, they only had up to 40 for numbers in the team, and I kind of just took the last pick or the last number, and I ended up with 36. And then after coming here, the equipment manager or the equipment guy kind of noticed that I wore number 36, and that was a number that was available because they do the same under 40 rule here.
Yeah.
And I kind of just told him easy going. I'm kind of fine with whatever. So now I'm sticking to 36, I guess.
Great.
That's
Excellent.
the plan.
Is there a method to that under 40 rule or suggestion?
I have no clue.
Not sure. Okay, we'll
No
have
idea.
to one of these days we'll find out what that is for. Sam, I know for you being one of the young guys on the team this year and spending a few more of those games kind of watching, getting in against the Sioux there. When you spend a game scratched, I was talking with Jackson Stewart a little bit and just kind of talking about that itch to get on the ice. I'm wondering, for you as an elite player, like a guy who can play at this level, just by the fact that you're here, you can play at this level. What are you looking at when you're watching a game, and how is that different from maybe what a fan sees when they're watching a game?
Well, obviously, as a player on the team, you've got a lot of behind the scenes. So whenever the coach is talking about things we can work on, things we can adapt to, you know what I mean, just to get the best success, I'm usually focusing, I find myself focusing a lot on the parts of the game that we're trying to get better at, you know what I mean? And I feel like, obviously, the fans just want what's best for the team in most situations. And for them, in most situations, they're focusing on how many pucks we're putting in the net and how many we're letting in ours, you know what I mean? So for me, there's a lot more technical bits to it that I do get to experience and see behind the scenes, and I'm also, working on it in practice. So I kind of get a feel for what it is we're working on, and then I hope that, our team can transition to the game and do the same thing that we were working on in practice.
And I guess, Ben, for you similarly, I think spending a little bit of time injured last year and not necessarily on the ice every game, is that itch just always there? Is it hard to watch your team play and kind of not join them in that?
Oh, it's super frustrating. You just see a game, and especially when we lose, you're just itching to get back on the ice and just contribute to your team and help them win.
I'm wondering, so for you guys, it's going to be a busy week of hockey for you guys. Of course, this last week, not necessarily the results that we're looking for, but I think lots of positives that can be pulled out of this week. How do you prepare yourselves both physically and mentally now for not just 3 games in 3 days, but all of them being away and long road trips to Southern Ontario?
Yeah, I think you just got to do the right things. And I think have a little bit of fun on the road trip. I know on the way there we'll probably have rookie sing off, and then when we get to the hotel, maybe dance off. So that'll be fun, getting guys out of their shells and just getting closer as a team.
Yeah. Excellent. How about yourself?
I just think, obviously, with 3 games and all of them being away, even if there is a loss that happens, you don't want that to be the focus of the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So or even if we played a bad game and got away with a squeaky win, or whatever the case may be. You don't really want to focus on the loss or anything bad that happened, because you still have another game to play and another game after that, right? So I think, like Ben said, having some fun, keeping your head up, and just having a good experience regardless of the outcome.
How do you guys keep yourselves ready then as well physically? Like, how do you prepare yourself physically for, like, I mean, it's hard enough playing hockey, but then jumping on a bus, sleeping in a bed that's not yours, jumping on a bus again when you wake up. Like, how do you keep yourself ready to get on the ice and compete at the highest possible level?
Yeah, for me, it's really just my power naps on the bus. I just love sleeping, so I think that's what gets me ready for games.
Is it throw a podcast in, you listening to music?
Yeah,
or you
listen to music and then you just fall asleep.
Excellent. Do you have a sleep playlist maybe that you find helpful?
Not really, I just shuffle through music.
Excellent. Okay, no problem.
I'm the same way. I do like my naps on the bus and my music. And the other thing is, it doesn't really matter where you are in your environment. I do find myself stretching a lot, and I feel like you never know when you could pull something or.
Right.
And on top of that, drinking, eating well, all that kind of stuff.
And so, if I'm correct too, you guys will go down kind of a day before the game, and is that just sort of to try to keep things regular? You're not playing all 3 games the day you're getting off a big bus.
Yeah.
Is that just kind of to try to acclimatize yourself?
Yeah, I think so. Our legs aren't tired the day of, because it's a pretty long bus ride to Windsor, so we'll get a day off and then practice in the morning to get us ready for the game. Makes
sense. Mm-hmm. How do you stay ready maybe in a home game? Like, you've got a kind of a day off tomorrow, not really a day off, but maybe not as much practice, not as much ice time tomorrow. When you guys are at home and you have a day off like that, where you actually have a day away from the rink, what are you doing? How are you resetting? Are you still thinking about hockey those days? How do you take a day off?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta flip the switch off to get your mind off of hockey, because it's just good to be relaxed. I like to stretch on days off too, and just do some schoolwork.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, I just think there's a good balance between everyone's in love with the sport at this point. Like, if you're playing in the OHL, it's for a reason, but not making it affect the other things in your life, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So. Being able to kind of, like Ben said, flip that switch and kind of adapt to it, I feel like on a game day especially, you want to be as focused as you can be, but without it kind of affecting what happened before or after your day, you know what I mean?
Right. How do you guys then, as a team, how do you flip that switch? Do you need to kind of practice that a little bit, going from let's say you maybe from Wednesday's game, for example, not the best result that you guys are looking for, but then you have this game where you're highly competitive in London. And again, I mean, not necessarily the 2 points that you're looking for, but this really, really great bounce back. What do you have to do between Thursday and Friday? How are you doing that to flip that switch to come back more competitive?
Yeah, you really just got to forget about the game. Forget about it, but not at the same time. You'll watch some video, maybe tweak a couple things, but it's just focus on the next game.
Excellent.
Same, pretty much the same thing, yeah.
Cool.
Up well.
Well, I mean, I know fresh and brand new here to Owen Sound for yourself. Have as a former teammates, has Ben shown you around town at all? Kind of giving you the true Owen Sound experience yet?
I think more than anything, I got it from Cedric Gaindon, because when I first got here, I moved into their billet house for a little bit. He's staying with Jake Crawford, and. Obviously, being kind of the veteran in the house, he did show me around and kind of gave me a good enough view of what the town was like, and it's a pretty wholesome community, so I definitely don't mind it at all.
As a rookie, have you been recognized around town yet for playing on the team?
A little bit, I definitely have been, but it's nothing crazy yet. You know what I mean? But of course, I have a lot to prove, and I got some games to play, and get my name out there and everything like that. So, it's going to be a slow process at first, but. Again, I didn't have any crazy expectations, so.
That's fair, fair. Ben, do you remember the first time being up in Owen Sound that you get recognized for being on the team, or even the first time that you see somebody wearing your jersey?
Yeah, I love it. You're just inspiring kids out there, or people in the community, so it's great to see.
A lot of people have kind of likened Owen Sound being the smallest CHL market as almost one of those most pro-like experiences where it's hard to go to the grocery store and not get recognized, for you guys as players. And you just have a smaller community, and so you just end up getting more recognized, more well-known, more so than, say a player from London or Kitchener when they're in these bigger city markets. So that's very cool to hear. I'm glad that Owen Sound is treating you guys well. So that's exciting to see. I want to talk real quick just about practices. I mean, not everybody gets to go to practices. I'm lucky enough I get to go and watch you guys play on Mondays, Tuesdays. I'm wondering, Ben, for you, kind of playing on that second power play center role at the moment, what does it take to be effective in that position?
Yeah, it's a lot of moving around. You kind of got to help out everybody to support the person with the puck, and then you also play a net front role, so you kind of got to be everywhere and always moving. I
noticed you even just today practicing that down against Georgie there, and you're kind of anybody who's got the puck, just like a defenseman's right on them, you're also right there, just kind of wherever that puck goes. Yeah. You seem to just be following it all around the ice, and so that's very cool to see. Is that a role that you're comfortable on? Have you always been a special teams kind of player?
I have, but I've played different positions in the past, so this is kind of new to me, but I'm trying to learn the most I can.
Very cool, very cool. Sam, I've noticed as well for you at practice, something that I think maybe people haven't yet gotten to see and haven't yet been able to appreciate in you is that ability where you can use that forward speed that you grew up developing. And I noticed even today, just kind of the way that you're scanning, I can see you identifying the passing lanes, and you give them just enough to make them think that it's a safe pass. And then I can see you using that speed 3 times in one shift of a drill. You're taking the puck away, breaking up the pass. And I know, for myself, that's something I'm excited to see you be able to utilize on this team. Is that something that you feel like has come naturally to you, or has that been something you really had to work at developing?
I think so. Growing up as a forward, I feel like one thing that Ds don't experience as a forward is that constant, you're constantly going, and no matter what happens, you can't ever have a break. Right. On defense, you're always scanning, you're always keeping your eyes out for things, but physically you're not, you got a little break at the blue line, for example, when you first get into the offensive zone and you're kind of sitting up there, you're going to support your forwards, but you're not really moving too much yet. So I feel like with the forward experience and still a little bit of that mentality with me still, I think that it's kind of allowed me to always be physically ready to pounce on whatever I can do to benefit the team.
Excellent. Well, great answers. We're going to take a break here. Before we do, we'll throw up our trivia question on screen here. The first question of the day is, what OHL team did Ben Cormier score his first OHL goal against? Make sure you text your answers into the show, and we'll be right back after this break.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Game TV's Watch and Win contest is back with over $75,000 in cash prizes. Tune in to Jeopardy weeknights at 8:30. Spot the code word, then head over to GameTVcontests.com to enter. With a new code word every weeknight, that's 35 chances to enter. Don't just watch the winners, be a winner with Game TV's Watch and Win contest. Contest runs October 16th to December 1st. Visit GameTVcontests.com for more info.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton. We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experiences is a Rogers TV program that tells about the struggles for survival for those who are marginalized and vulnerable in our community. Please join me for Voices of Lived Experiences on Rogers TV.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
and welcome back to Attack Wrap. I'm your host, Nick Kennedy. Once again, our trivia question for the day, a prize, of course, being tickets to the next home game, is what OHL team did Ben Cormier score his first OHL goal against? The prize, of course, there being tickets to Wednesday, November 25th game against the North Bay Battalions. Sorry, I believe that might be a Saturday game, in fact. So you will win tickets to the North Bay game, and if you can get that correct answer in, we're looking forward to seeing who gets that one first. Make sure you text into the number that will be on the screen. But what we're going to do here is we're going to jump into a little stick taping bit here. This has become a little bit popular on the show. I've had a couple of guys ask about it, so we'll keep doing it as long as you guys enjoy this. But what I'd love to do is we'll take one of these really nice Owen Sound Attack, not sponsored, but stick that you can, in fact, I think, pick up at the rink. And I got 3 different kinds of tape here for you guys. I got white, and now last week we were talking to the goalies, and I had to ask them, does the tape color make a difference? They both have said they don't think so, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. So we've got white, we've got black, and then you can't do a taping bit without the flame tape there. So I'll let you guys go ahead. Tape this stick the way that you would tape your normal stick.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take the white first.
Okay. Then I'll be waiting.
Okay. So you guys
Actually, I'll use the flame tape today.
Okay.
Yeah,
There we go. Flame tape.
So you guys generally both then would use white tape
Yes.
for your stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a reason behind that? Were you ever kind of told an old wives' tale, or you just kind of fell into it?
People do say, like, you can't see the puck as well when people are using black tape, but I just think white tape is so much better. Just looks nice.
Yeah, I just think it looks better, yeah.
I've heard some people where they'll say that the white tape can actually hide the blade angle of the stick and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Asking that to Carter last week, he said that generally when he's watching a shooter shoot, he's not actually paying attention to the angle of their blade at all. He's really just focused on that puck and making the save from there. So
Yeah.
Certainly interesting. Now, Ben, I noticed here you're a toe to heel guy, first off, which is already a little bit, I won't say weird, but unique at least from what we've seen most of the time here. Is there a reason that you start toe to heel?
No, I used to be a heel to toe last year, but Denny Gore told me to change my tape job.
Okay.
So I've changed it since, and I've just stuck with toe to heel.
Excellent. So did you find success with it, and that just kind of like inspired you to keep going?
This summer I started using it, and I just really like the feel of it, so I just kept going with it this year.
Okay. Now, I do notice in practice, I mean, I've seen the white tape. You seem to do an odd tape job where you kind of don't do the whole blade. Is that why? Why do you do that?
I'm not really sure. Last year I used to tape it all the way, but I just like it better. I feel like I can stick handle better without all the tape on my stick. Just the puck slides better.
Interesting. Well, I'll keep asking you guys these questions in a second. We do have a trivia question winner. So congratulations to Christopher Stavro. You have won yourself a pair of tickets to the next home game, I believe, against the Battalion. So you can pick those up at the box office whenever you're ready. So I see, okay, so Sam, you got the white tape, and you are a heel-to-toe guy, man after my own heart, myself as well. I should have brought you scissors to cut the overhead,
yes.
So that's my mistake. But again, same question, is there a reason you go heel-to-toe?
I just kind of grew up on it, I guess. It seems to be, the normal thing. Sorry, Ben, but the normal thing.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It is.
It is, and I kind of just, I guess, stick to what's been working. So.
Do you feel like that was ever like inspired by your dad or your mom or whoever took you to the rink more often? Did they
I don't
do
think
it the same
so.
way?
It was more. I kind of just picked up on what the people were doing around me, so
Right.
I kind of just adapted to it. And
Are you guys wax users? We actually have a pair of scissors right there for you. You can
thank you.
Trim that right up, and there you go. Just like magic, they appear here on the show.
Yeah.
Are you guys tape waxers at all, or do you use the puck to scuff it up, or?
I don't use wax, but I take a puck and like kind of go around the edge of my tape job like this all around, and then push the puck.
Like on the edge, like the top edge of your stick.
Yeah.
Why that?
Not sure.
Okay.
I just like it that way.
Just kind of flattens it down.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
A little more smooth, streamlined.
Yeah, tape will stick a little more.
Yeah, okay. Very interesting. And I mean, feel free, you guys can do the top nub as well. I'm interested to know kind of how you guys do that. I've seen a couple of guys, I think Nico was doing a two-tone top handle there. A couple of guys are basically no nub at all, so always interested to see how you guys do that and kind of why you decide each thing. So besides your sticks, I mean, everybody's relatively, I would say particular, not necessarily picky or not, but everybody's fairly particular about how they like their stick. Do you guys have any other interesting equipment things that maybe would be different than, say, the norm or the average?
Last year I had some questionable things, but I was sitting beside Denny and he told me to change it up. So last year I would not play with insoles in my skates.
Okay, so I gotta know why.
Which is really weird. One game I forgot them in U18, and I think I scored 3 goals that game. So I'm like, I'm just not using them ever again.
Completely makes sense. No, I absolutely understand.
And then the boys found out I don't use them last year, and I just got ripped on. So I had to put them back on.
Do you feel like was it hard when like Brownie or Stumps would bring you guys a new pair of skates and you just reached in there and ripped the insole out right in front of them? Like, did you see their faces drop at all?
No, I wouldn't let them see it.
Okay.
I'd really just do it by myself because I don't think it'd be good.
That's fair. I mean, maybe a little bit more egregious than Stu's tongues on his skates last year.
Yes.
Those were something to see.
It was really funny.
Sam, how about you? Do you have any equipment things that you do?
For me, I always tape my right shin pad with clear tape before I do my left. And that kind of goes back to the same thing as Ben. I had a really good game in Rockland in my first year, and I kind of just stuck to it since.
Excellent. Yeah. That makes complete sense. I mean, I don't think there's a single hockey player out there who doesn't do one thing one game, find success, and then you might as well keep doing it.
Exactly.
If you can, you might as well. So I see both you guys, you do kind of the short nub just for your pinky to sit on, and is there, have you guys always done that? Always done a fairly small kind of top nub for your finger?
Yeah, I think it just prevents the sliding from your hand, so it just keeps it in place.
So Sam, you go for the little twist kind of braid method down. Ben, you're not so much into that, eh?
No, I just put what's it called? Just put some special tape on there so my hands stick instead of this white. I usually put some grip tape on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually do the same, but I usually kind of double it almost. Like I'll do the braided, and then I'll have like my fingers sit in between kind of every little slot there that's going on, and
then
then for the rest of it, obviously I've got the grip tape on top of that too.
Did you have to kind of like measure that out the first few times you did that and kind of make sure you're getting just right?
I kind of just get like a good enough idea of my fingers and everything, and that's kind of just the way I've been doing it.
And do you normally go two-tone on the top there? You'll use one color for the inside, one for the outside?
I mean, it kind of just matters. I've been doing white like pretty much ever since I got here, but that's because we have like an endless tape supply pretty much.
Sure.
But before that, I kind of just took whatever was there, and then I would try and cover the top with grip tape, obviously.
Okay. I know a couple of guys were saying that they chose white for up top because their folks didn't want to keep paying for new gloves.
Yeah, that's another thing.
They ruined them with black tape.
That's true. I've never thought of that.
No, okay. So is that the finished kind of typical Ben Cormier tape job?
Yeah, finished product, but I'd be taping here, but I didn't know we had scissors, so
okay, fair
I'd be
enough.
taping over.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll make that right for the next time around, but we'll find a way as well. We're going to give these away to fans, so make sure you guys keep tuning into the show or make it out to games. And one of these two wonderfully taped sticks may eventually find their way into your hand. You can go ahead, Sam. You can show that off to the camera. We saw Ben's already, but we'll take a quick look there. So you go white on white on white, eh?
Yep.
Just the way to go. That makes sense. Well, that's very cool. What we're going to do, we're going to jump right now into the highlights. We'll take a look at those. And then once we're done watching the first package, we'll come back and we'll kind of break down the game and take a good look at it. So we'll roll the Wednesday game against Kitchener, and we'll be right back.
Mishar works in the corner. He'll go back to Brustevich at the blue line. Now a one-time shot's off. The rebound's there, Mishar, and he had a lot of net to look at, but couldn't get a handle on the puck. Shell career appeared in just one game for the Attack so far. 0-0, pass out front, shot by Stark, they score. The Kitchener Rangers strike first.
We've been waiting for that first goal of the game, and there it is. Matthias Stark breaks the egg for his second goal of the season. A great little play there by Matthias as he gets himself free inside the slot.
Stark has the lone goal of the game for Kitchener. As Sam Sedley bats it down, Rakoff will send it off the end board. Swick's in there. Carter George sees him. It's wide open net for Philip Mishar, and he hits it. Carter George just caught out of position trying to play that puck. Line cross ice pass for Carson Rakoff. Searching, scanning, goes to Brustevich. Down low, the pass comes now. Brustevich in the high slot. One-time shot, and they score. Looked like a deflection in front. Mishar was the man who let it go. It's 3-0 Kitchener on a power play goal. Goal Madenstein, it's out of his reach. And Kitchener putting all kinds of pressure on Owen Sound. Matthew Sopp, quick shot for Motu, and it's through. They score. The point shot from Simon Motu finds a way. Third goal of the second period for the Kitchener Rangers. It's 4-0.
Juggernaut of a weekend there. Teams that are up at the top of the standings. The Owen Sound Attack are in tough. And
as Rakoff goes 5-hole and scores 5-0 Kitchener. And the Attack just have no answers at this point.
Well, certainly a tough game, not the result you guys are looking for, but I mean, I think, we can still look at those games and find some things to be happy with. I mean, not the least of being that they are probably the best team right now in the entire league, the Kitchener Rangers, and that game now evens them up on the series. You guys were up 2-1 in games on them, so right now 2-2 against the top team in the league. I mean, nothing to snub your nose at for sure. But I mean, maybe you guys can kind of talk to, there was a lot of really good competition in the first and in the third. I mean, yeah, the wheels fell off a little bit in the second, but what did you see that you really liked from your team in that first period and in the third as well?
Yeah, I think we were really hungry in the first to get the first goal of the game and get some momentum on our side. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I think that was some good part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Same yourself?
Yeah, same thing, kind of that never give up attitude. We kind of, same thing in practice. Like, we're always working on keeping that top level of competition, and I just think that regardless of what the score is up on the scoreboard, we're just going to keep playing the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, reflected even just in the shot totals. Like, a team who's given up doesn't finish a game with 30 shots like you guys did, right? Like, you guys are just clearly showing you're in that game. Scoreboard may say one thing, but we saw although not the result we're looking for, although not the scoreboard look that we're looking for. I mean, you guys are showing like, hey, we're in this game. We're not giving up, and I think that's a great thing as well for all the junior Attack that are watching as well. Like, maybe you guys can kind of talk to that. How would you encourage a kid? Like, maybe you're in a coaching position. We'll just kind of throw your coach hat on for a second, and you're coaching the junior Attack, and they come out 5-0, but you see them compete well in a lot of the game. How are you encouraging those kids to kind of lift their head up and go into the next game still competitive?
Yeah, you tell them you always have to keep going. You never know what can happen. Like in the Mississauga game, we were down 4-0, got 2 quick goals, and all of a sudden we're back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam?
I just think, as soon as you give your 100% effort and you're consistently doing it, I just think that eventually something will pay off in a way. And, for those young guys, if they just lost the game 5-0, of course it's going to be a bit of a heartbreaker in the moment, but just knowing that if you keep that same energy and keep that same focus and keep coming in and doing the same thing every day, you'll eventually get to, some sort of goal in a way.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always tough, when the score really doesn't represent the game, right? Like I don't think that game was a 5-0 game looking at it, right? You guys really did. You guys played hard. We saw that effort, and that's great to see. And absolutely, like you guys said, it's something that these young kids can learn from as they're watching you guys play. And you know, the minor teams come up, and you know, they're going to be in that same position where they're going to have a tough game that they, you know, still need to learn. Hey, battle to that last horn. Now, speaking of battling to the last horn, we are going to jump into the London game here, and we'll take a look at these highlights. Quite a game, but we'll take a quick look and we'll jump right back after those.
6 into this hockey game, play back to the blue line. Cowan tees it up at the near side, takes a peek down low, watch for Bob. He'll park himself right in front of the cage in that bumper position. Here's the quick shot, scores! A homer, top of the circle, 1-0. Power, play goal, ultimate. The cue, and he could in front of the net again, and Johnston, heck of a shift so far, has the puck once again. Brustevich leaves it there for him. Johnston at the line, can't keep it in. Petrovsky 2-on-1 happening. Here's Petrovsky, shoots, he scores! Petrovsky beats Wilmore, tied hockey game. That'll be an even straight goal. Momentarily at both ends, Brustevich has the puck, sends it toward the net. McHugh in there, battling. McHugh tucks it back to the blue line. Brustevich wants it, shot, score! Jackson cross from Nickel. Knights control. Isaiah George. Left wing pass broken up. Quick shot, score! As the turnover, Brennan popped it home over the shoulder. And just like that, tied to deuces. Into the mark, and Sedley will grab onto it. Sam Sedley down low again, looking for the return feed in front of the net. Another chance in front of the net. Bouncing puck, and Wilmore hangs off. Move here. Down low again, up top of the circle. Sam Sedley down low again. Can they get the shot away? Burrows couldn't. Shot, front of the net. In front, they score. Rebound, power play goal. 2 seconds remaining on the power play, and Old Sound takes the lead.
Their power play has looked very good in tonight's contest. Good control, just nothing to show for it yet.
They'll control the draw right in front of the net. They score. And there you have it. Another penalty, a late penalty by the Knights. And all of a sudden, the Owen Sound attack lead this hockey game again. Cowan, slot area. Trying to find a man. Turns off the checking to Danny Gore. On the dive. Finding Barkey. Barkey off to the wing. Here's a quick shot. From the net. Oh, another chance. Now headman pass through to the center ice area. Inside a minute remaining in overtime. And now McHugh has it. 1-on-1. Barkey up there as well. It's 2-on-2. Denver Barkey shoots. Scores! Denver Barkey.
Well, again, I mean, not necessarily the result looking for, picking up a point, of course, in overtime. What does it do to a team kind of taking an early penalty there and an early power play goal for London? Does that kind of change the way that you guys play when you sort of see, okay, the refs are going to call maybe a little bit more of this game?
Yeah, obviously, like, as soon as the first period, like, started, we knew it was going to be a lot of penalties this game, but we just got to keep playing the same way, stay composed, and don't be mad.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw you guys, of course, 11 penalties. I think London actually getting more of them than Owen Sound, but saw you guys just absolutely dominating the Knights in shots. I think going into overtime, 41 shots to like 25 or something like that. You guys are just kind of all over them. What did you see from the team that you guys liked? What did you really appreciate the team doing in London this week?
I think we just worked really hard. When we worked hard, we got opportunities. That's why we got a lot of shots that game. Honestly, one of the funnest games I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
I think, it was like the intensity more than anything, you know. I think maybe we let in that first goal there pretty early on, but it didn't let us, like something like that didn't let anything happen where we shut down or we stopped playing the way we are supposed to. And we kind of just carried on, and we ended up having the lead twice there at the end, and then they kept tying it up, and then obviously it didn't go our way, but we did give it some good effort.
I think that was one of the most impressive things about this game is that you guys are coming off of a 5-0 loss, and even though I think the effort in that game isn't reflected by the scoreboard, I think it would have been much closer. It's still got to be weighing on you that okay, we did just let in 5, we didn't score, and then you go into the London Knights Arena where you've got over 9,000 fans just kind of screaming down on top of you. And giving up that first goal so early, it would have been so easy to just, all right, this game's done and it's a write-off. And yet you guys came back, and not just came back, but we're the better team for so much of that game. I think the final shot total 42-30. I think just a huge bounce back game. And how do you do that as a team? How do you guys, is there a conversation beforehand? Like, what is it that just flips that switch and takes you guys from a 5-0 loss to now dominating one of the other top teams in the league?
Yeah, well, obviously, after the Mississauga game, we just kind of got to regroup and see what we did wrong in the game and fix our mistakes. And just the biggest thing is keep working hard. And we had success in London by doing that.
Excellent.
I think, our team is not performing as well as we would like to this year in terms of, how we're doing on the standings and everything. But I just feel like that gives us just one more reason to be eager for success, you know what I mean? And we keep coming back at it every time, we have a loss or some sort of unfortunate event. Having that mentality where we're just not going to give up and we're just going to keep coming out harder. That's kind of the mentality on our team, and we're going to keep playing that way till the season ends.
Well, certainly probably the most difficult 3 matchups that you could have gotten in a week. Going up against Kitchener, the top team in the league, going up against London, who's always competitive, has multiple NHL draft picks on their team, and then as well going up against Mississauga on the weekend, who I believe they're the top team in the East as well. Probably the hardest week of hockey you guys will have this season, likely, and yet coming out of the gate, coming off of a bad loss and just showing that you have fight, you've got teeth, and you're ready to use them. I think, for me, it was exciting to watch. I think it was absolutely probably the best Owen Sound attack game this year. I think just effort-wise, all around. So a great bounce back game there from the attack. Not the full 2 points that we're looking for. That's okay. Great work there from the team. What we'll do, we'll jump now into the Mississauga game. We'll take a look at our last highlight package here, and we'll come back and break down that game for you.
Right off the right pad there of Carter George. Quick pass in front. Boudreau with a quick shot and a save made by Carter George. Owen Sound got caught napping a bit. Now they turn it over. Another opportunity. Pass across. Boudreau scores. Cross crease pass. And Marc Boudreau breaks the ice here tonight. 1-0 Mississauga. Was trying to hop around Leskovar. And now a breakaway opportunity develops here. Angus McDonnell delaying. Toe drag, fires and scores! What a goal from Angus McDonnell. Nice patience and then a great shot. But another opportunity. It's Martone driving through the crease. Poked out, they score! Jakob Thibagir putting it in. And the attacker now down 3-0 as Mississauga firmly in the driver's seat late in the second.
That's 2 turnovers resulting in goals that are passes up the middle while shorthanded or on 4-on-4 play. Just inexcusable.
Right point, deflected, backdoor, Van Volsen scores. Johnny on the spot is Jack Van Volsen. 4-0 Mississauga.
A shot from the point, and it's Mason Zabeski that gets a tip on it. As he tips this right here, it's a wide shot, and it goes completely perfectly backdoor to Jack Van Volsen for his 4th goal of this.
He hit his own man in front. Mateos Jordan down into the corner. James Petrosky with control, waits, a wrist shot, scores! No, rebound, that time they score! Landon Hookey cleans it up, and the attack are on the board. Soft wins it, Hookey with a wrist shot, and it hit a stick and went wide. Sedley, Hookey covering for him at the line. Landon Hookey, a shot, scores! Back-to-back goals here for the attack as they trim the deficit in half. This one's going right at the empty net, and they score. So from 5 feet, they couldn't get it, but from their own zone, they'll bury it. Chad Sharp, the captain.
Again, the third loss of the week, but at the end of the day, just dominating that third period. I can't remember exactly what the shot totals were for just that third period alone, but I believe it was something like 20 shots for you guys, 6 for them.
21.
Just 21 shots. There you go. You're the stats guy. These are the things I got to learn about this team. Final shot totals 42-31. I think that first period, it was a genuinely very competitive first. I remember the horn going and just thinking, this game could be 2-2, it could be 1-1, it could be 0-0. And any combination of those. A very, very competitive first period. Second period, not going the way we want. Understandable. Similar with Kitchener, but you guys showing that you have this fight to come back and then dominate a third period like that. What went well there in the third period? What did you guys like from the team?
I think we had a good talk between the players in between the intermission, and we just said no matter what the outcome is, we just have to play hard, and maybe something happens and we can get back in this game.
Absolutely. The thing I noticed about you guys there is, the second period, it is what it is. Every team's going to have those periods, and that's fine. But as soon as you guys come out in the third period, I noticed the biggest change is in the second, some of the pucks were, they were maybe not quite getting up onto the tape, some of them in the feet, sometimes behind the players. As soon as the third period started, those pucks were just magnetic from tape to tape. And all of a sudden, you guys were, without a doubt, the best team. And when those pucks are going tape to tape, you guys are one of the most competitive teams, I think, in this league. We got maybe 30 seconds. Sam, anything that you really liked kind of watching that game for your team?
Like you said, kind of the whole magnetic tape thing there. I just think when our whole team comes together and we're all on the same page, I feel like that's when we can really showcase our true potential.
Absolutely.
And again, that's kind of just something that we need to master and get better at as the year goes on.
It's got to be exciting. I think fans really should be excited going into this weekend of hockey because you guys showed everybody that not only are you competitive against the best teams, but that you can dominate some of the best teams. And scoreboard says one thing, but the effort on the ice, it's one thing to watch these games or just check the score on your phone, but to be there and see the score, see the game, see how you guys play. An excellent week of hockey. I'm excited to see what you guys have to do. The next game's coming up here Thursday, going down to Windsor, tomorrow being a travel day. Friday against Sarnia, down in Sarnia. The next game against Flint. And then I believe next week you guys have 2 more road games before you're finally back. So a 5-game road trip. That'll be tough. We'll see you guys back here next Tuesday.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
Wednesdays.
Quantum Leap was an experimental time travel program. You're a time traveler leaping from life to life, trying to put right what once went wrong.
He's out there. He's been out there for 3 years.